This episode of Rhizome is brought to you in part by the Synthesis Security Group and Fuzzy Wuzzy Signal Processing, a venture of Ian Swanke. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
All right, let's jump right in. Today we're doing an explainer on the classic film Ronin, and we're going to unpack exactly how its protagonist, Sam, manages to survive in a highly dangerous, masterless world using three really profound tactical rules. Because think about it, when all the normal structures of society completely fade away, what actually keeps a person alive in the shadows? We're going to break down the highly specific survival code of a modern mercenary, using the brilliant script of this film as our guide.
You know, right in the middle of the film, we get this incredible story of the ancient myth of the 47 Ronin. Basically, these were 47 samurai who became outcasts after their master was betrayed and killed. They spent years plotting their revenge, pretending to be mercenaries and thieves. And after they finally exacted that revenge, they all chose ritual suicide, seppuku, in the castle courtyard simply because they couldn't bear to live without their master.
And that brings us to the actual definition of our subject today. A Ronin is a masterless samurai or warrior. It's not just a cool movie title, right? It's a warrior left without a master, forced to navigate a totally unpredictable and hostile landscape. In the context of this explainer, we're looking at ex-intelligence operatives, former soldiers and spies who were left completely adrift after the Cold War. Their belief systems died, their governments didn't need them anymore, so they became guns for hire.
Now think about the stark contrast between the ancient and the modern here. The ancient warriors of myth, they chose honor and ultimately death to serve a higher purpose. But the modern Ronin, it's a whole different ballgame. They simply choose survival, cash, and a really rigid sense of professionalism. In a world where genuine belief is just gone, you can't rely on some grand ideology anymore. You literally can only rely on your training.
Rule 1. Absolute instinct.
This right here is the absolute foundation of Sam's survival strategy. It's the very first lesson a masterless operative has to learn if they want to stay breathing. When asked how he knew a specific drop-off was actually a setup through an ambush, Sam drops this perfect line. Whenever there is any doubt, there is no doubt. That's the first thing they teach you. This rule is absolute. It means if a situation feels even slightly compromised, you have to treat that suspicion as a 100% certainty. There is absolutely no room for second guessing.
If we break down his tactical thinking, it's basically three quick steps. Spot the suspicion, treat it as a stone-cold fact, and act immediately. My favorite example of this? Sam is dealing with a volatile, heavily armed team member who's questioning him. Sam recognizes the threat, doesn't wait around to see how it plays out, and violently ambushes the guy using nothing but a cup of coffee. He turns a totally mundane object into a weapon just because he acted the very second doubt entered his mind.
And his hypervigilance is just off the charts. I mean, right at the start of the story, before he even meets his employers, Sam flat out refuses to walk into the back room of a Parisian bar without knowing exactly how to get out. Later, during a heist, he demands a clear line of retreat, and he's constantly anticipating sniper tactics, even pointing out how a crossfire setup will just end up killing both shooters. His instinct isn't magic, it's just a rigidly applied checklist for survival.
Rule 2. Weaponized Discretion.
When you're dealing with heavily guarded secrets, what you don't know literally cannot hurt you. When his partner Vincent presses him about exactly who taught him his tactical rules, Sam shuts the whole conversation down with, "I don't remember. That's the second thing they teach you." It's not a memory lapse, guys. It is a highly deliberate tactic to just kill the inquiry right then and there.
By refusing to hold on to sensitive intel, he's brilliantly protecting both himself and his former masters. In the source material, Sam admits he survived severe interrogation before, and he bluntly states a really dark truth. Nobody can hold out indefinitely. Everyone has a breaking point when tortured. So the only true defense? Genuinely not possessing the information your captors want. Compartmentalization basically becomes his armor.
And he completely doubles down on this at the very end of the film. After this brutal, continent-spanning chase for a mysterious metal briefcase, Vincent asks him a simple question. What was actually in the case? Sam just smiles and says, I don't remember. Lesson number 2. He fought for it, bled for it, killed for it, but he willfully purges the specifics from his mind the second the job is done. It just doesn't matter anymore.
Rule 3. Stoic acceptance.
So, you survive physical threats with instinct, and you survive interrogation with discretion. But how do you survive the massive psychological toll of a masterless life? Sam reflects on the stark, unglamorous reality of their work with this powerful quote. Think about what they just went through. Shootouts in the streets, double crosses, assassinations in a crowded ice rink. And at the end, no medal ceremony, no parade, no answers. As he says, you accept it and move on.
Basically, these modern mercenaries absolutely have to accept a total lack of closure to survive. They have to move on, embracing what another character calls the pure delight in the battle, rather than looking for some deep moral justification. They are essentially transactional ghosts, because if they pause to look for a neat, tidy ending, they hesitate. And in their world, hesitation is death.
Professionalism over ideology. Everything really boils down to a clash between Sam's strict warrior code and the fatal attachments of the antagonists, Seamus and Gregor. You've got Seamus, an Irish terrorist fueled entirely by a burning, fanatical ideology. And then you have Gregor, an ex-KGB operative driven completely by greed, trying to sell the case to the highest bidder. Both of them are fiercely attached to an outcome. Sam, on the other hand, is completely detached.
And it's exactly those ideological and treacherous attachments that destroy them. Gregor's greed gets him killed because he tries to play way too many sides at once. Seamus's fanatical rage totally blinds him tactically, resulting in his assassination. But Sam and Vincent, they just do the job. They follow the 3 rules, they stay detached, and as a result, they simply survive and quietly walk away into a Parisian crowd, completely unnoticed.
So I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. The story of Ronin isn't just about cool car chases. It's actually a really deep look at structure. When all the institutions you used to trust fade away and there are no masters left to serve, you have to build your own rulebook from scratch. Take a second to think about it. When external structures fall away, what internal code do you rely on to keep moving forward?
Now available exclusively on Amazon Kindle eBooks, Rhizome Summer 2026, a collection of essays, Rhizome Fall 2026 Book 2.